In the heart of the Great Plains, Lakota warriors crushed Custer at Little Bighorn, shaking a nation. Across Comancheria's vast empire, Comanche riders struck like ghosts, unseen until empires fell. A carved arrowhead and a whispered prophecy hide their secrets. Who was the mightiest native tribe of all time? Join Frontier Chronicles to unravel the clash of Lakota's unity and Comanche's ferocity, where legends of defiance still echo. Hey folks, welcome to Frontier Chronicles, broadcasting from the windswept plains and shadowed canyons where two Native American giants, Lakota Sioux and Comanche, carved legends in blood and hoofbeats. I'm Jake Harlan, and today we're diving into the debate, who was the mightiest native tribe of all time? Lakota, the uncrowned kings of the Great Plains, crushed the U.S. Army at Little Bighorn, per D. Brown's Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee. Comanche, the phantom riders of Comancheria, struck fear from Kansas to Texas, per Nathaniel Philbrick's The Last Stand. Both dominated vast lands, defied empires, and left echoes of defiance. A lost war club will spark questions, let's ride into their rise. In the 1700s, the Great Plains were a battleground of survival. The Lakota, part of the Sioux Nation, migrated west from Minnesota's forests, mastering the horse by the early 1800s, per Brown. Their 7 bands, Hunkpapa, Oglala, Minneconjou, formed a powerful confederacy, uniting thousands under leaders like Sitting Bull and Crazy Horse, per Philbrick. They hunted bison, controlled the Black Hills, and forged alliances with Cheyenne and Arapaho, per historical records. Their victory at Little Bighorn in 1876, killing 268 U.S. soldiers, cemented their legend as the soul of resistance, per Brown. Their spiritual strength, tied to the ghost dance, rallied tribes against encroachment. Meanwhile, the Comanche rose in the south, dominating Comancheria, a 240,000 square mile empire spanning Kansas to northern Mexico, per Gwynn's Empire of the Summer Moon. Peerless horsemen, they struck like lightning, raiding settlers and armies with unmatched speed, per Philbrick. By the 1800s, they held sway over trade routes, capturing soldiers and negotiating for resources, per historical accounts. In 1836, a trader found a war club near the Red River, etched with shadow strikes. Uncovered in 1900, it was dismissed as a relic, but Comanche elders claimed it marked a vow, the horse carries our wrath. Why did these tribes dominate? What did that club signify? Whose vow shook empires? Hey folks, Jake Harlan back with Frontier Chronicles, broadcasting from the blood-stained plains where Lakota and Comanche warriors forged legends that shook empires. Last time, we set the stage, the Lakota Sioux, kings of the Great Plains, united tribes and crushed the U.S. Army at Little Bighorn, while the Comanche, phantom riders of Comancheria, ruled a 240,000 square mile empire with unmatched speed, per D. Brown's Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee and S. C. Gwynn's Empire of the Summer Moon. Today, we dive into their military might, Lakota's thunderous victory at Little Bighorn versus Comanche's lightning raids. A lost letter will spark questions, let's charge into the clash of titans. The Lakota's military prowess peaked at the Battle of Little Bighorn, June 25, 1876, in Montana's rolling hills, per Nathaniel Philbrick's The Last Stand. Led by Sitting Bull, Crazy Horse, and Gall, over 2,000 Lakota, Cheyenne, and Arapaho warriors faced Lieutenant Colonel George Custer's 7th Cavalry, 650 strong. In under 2 hours, they annihilated 268 soldiers, including Custer, with only 60 native losses, per Brown. Their strategy, luring Custer into a trap, then enveloping his split forces, showcased disciplined coordination across tribes, per Philbrick. This victory, the greatest native triumph against the U.S. Army, sent shockwaves through a nation celebrating its centennial, cementing the Lakota as the soul of resistance, per historical records. Comanche warriors, by contrast, were masters of guerrilla warfare, their raids a blur of terror across Comancheria, from Kansas to Texas, per Gwynn. By the 1830s, they perfected horseback combat, striking settlements and armies with precision, then vanishing, per Brown. Their 1836 raid on Fort Parker, Texas, saw 30 warriors kill or capture settlers in minutes, showcasing speed unmatched in the Americas, per historical accounts. They took captives, including soldiers and Mexicans, trading them for resources, earning the name "warriors never seen from the front," per Gwynn. In 1840, a Texas ranger found a bloodied letter near the Brazos River, scrawled with "Comanche Ride Unseen." Uncovered in 1905, it was dismissed as a settler's note, but elders claimed it marked a raid's vow, per oral histories. A Comanche elder, Swift Hawk, said, "The wind carries our blades." Why did Lakota's stand shine brighter than Comanche's shadow strikes? What did that letter hide? Whose vow shook the plains? Hey folks, Jake Harlan back with Frontier Chronicles, broadcasting from the boundless plains and rugged canyons where Lakota and Comanche hooves thundered, claiming empires under open skies. Last time, we dove into their military might, Lakota's earth-shaking victory at Little Bighorn in 1876, wiping out Custer's 7th Cavalry, and Comanche's lightning raids across Comancheria, striking fear into settlers and armies, per D. Brown's Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee and S.C. Gwynn's Empire of the Summer Moon. Today, we explore their mastery of land and horse, Lakota's sacred hold on the Black Hills versus Comanche's vast Comancheria. A hidden map will spark questions. Let's gallop into their dominion. The Lakota ruled the Great Plains, their heartland the Black Hills of South Dakota, a 6,000 square mile sacred stronghold, per Brown. By the 1800s, their 7 bands, Oglala, Hunkpapa, Minneconjou, controlled a territory spanning modern-day Dakotas, Nebraska, and Montana, roughly 200,000 square miles, per historical records. They defended it fiercely, using the hills' rugged terrain to ambush enemies, per Philbrick. Their horsemanship, honed after adopting Spanish Mustangs in the 1700s, made them agile hunters and warriors, chasing bison and outmaneuvering U.S. troops, per Brown. Yet, their strength lay in unity. Alliances with Cheyenne and Arapaho expanded their reach, per historical accounts. Comanche, meanwhile, forged Comancheria, a colossal 240,000 square mile empire from Kansas to northern Mexico, dwarfing Lakota lands, per Gwynn. By the 1830s, they dominated trade routes, raiding Spanish, Mexican, and American settlements with unmatched equestrian skill, per Philbrick. Comanche riders could shoot arrows under galloping horses' necks, a feat no army could match, per historical records. Their nomadic lifestyle let them strike across vast distances, vanishing into Comancheria's plains. In 1845, a Mexican scout found a buffalo hide map near the Rio Grande, marked with "Paths of the Shadow." Uncovered in 1915, it was dismissed as a trade relic, but Comanche elders claimed it charted raid routes, per oral histories. A Lakota seer, Black Elk, spoke, "The hills hold our spirit, the plains carry their storm." Why did Comanche's empire outsize Lakota's? What did that map guide? Whose storm ruled the land? Hey folks, Jake Harlan back with Frontier Chronicles, broadcasting from the sacred fires and windswept trails where Lakota and Comanche spirits burned bright, shaping their legacy as titans of the plains. Last time, we rode through their dominion, Lakota's sacred Black Hills, anchoring 200,000 square miles, and Comanche's vast Comancheria, a 240,000 square mile empire of unmatched horsemanship, per D. Brown's Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee and S.C. Gwynn's Empire of the Summer Moon. Today, we delve into their alliances and spirituality, Lakota's powerful coalitions with Cheyenne and Arapaho versus Comanche's lone wolf independence, and the sacred rituals that fueled their defiance. A forgotten ceremony will spark questions. Let's walk the path of their souls. The Lakota's strength lay in unity. By the mid-1800s, their 7 bands, Hunkpapa, Oglala, Minneconjou, forged alliances with tribes like the Cheyenne and Arapaho, creating a coalition 1,000 strong, per Nathaniel Philbrick's The Last Stand. This unity, led by visionaries like Sitting Bull, enabled coordinated campaigns, like the 1876 Little Bighorn victory, where 2,000 warriors overwhelmed Custer's 650 men, per Brown. Their spirituality, rooted in the Sun Dance and later the Ghost Dance of 1890, rallied tribes, promising renewal against U.S. encroachment, per historical records. The Ghost Dance, a circle of prayer and song, unified tribes in hope, though it led to tragedy at Wounded Knee, per Brown. Comanche, by contrast, thrived on independence. Operating in small, mobile bands, they rarely formed lasting alliances, relying on their peerless horsemanship and guerrilla tactics to dominate Comancheria, per Gwynn. Their spirituality centered on warrior rituals, vision quests and horse blessings, empowering individual fighters, per ethnographic accounts. Raids, like the 1836 Fort Parker attack, showcased their self-reliance, striking without allies yet controlling vast trade routes, per Philbrick. In 1855, a settler near the Pecos River found a beaded amulet, etched with Lone Rider's Oath. Uncovered in 1920, it was dismissed as decorative, but Comanche elders claimed it sealed a warrior's vow, per oral histories. A Lakota elder, Red Cloud, said, "Our circle binds, their shadow flies alone." Why did Lakota's alliances outshine Comanche's solitude? What did that amulet guard? Whose oath defined their spirit? Hey folks, Jake Harlan here, closing out our epic saga with frontier chronicles from the windswept plains and sacred hills where Lakota and Comanche legends still thunder. We've ridden their trails, Lakota's triumph at Little Bighorn, crushing Custer in 1876, Comanche's lightning raids across Comancheria's 240,000 square miles, their unmatched horsemanship and contrasting paths, Lakota's alliances versus Comanche's independence, all fueled by spiritual fire, per D. Brown's Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee and S.C. Gwynn's Empire of the Summer Moon. Today, we settle the debate, who was the mightiest native tribe? A final relic will haunt you, let's face their enduring legacy. Lakota's might shines in their unity and defiance. Their 1876 Little Bighorn victory, killing 268 U.S. soldiers with 2,000 warriors, was a masterstroke of coalition building with Cheyenne and Arapaho, led by Sitting Bull and Crazy Horse, per Nathaniel Philbrick's The Last Stand. Controlling 200,000 square miles around the Black Hills, their Sun Dance and Ghost Dance rallied tribes, embodying resistance, per Brown. Yet, their loss at Wounded Knee in 1890 marked a tragic end, with 300 massacred, per historical records. Comanche, ruling a larger Comancheria, struck terror with peerless horsemanship, raiding from Kansas to Mexico, per Gwynn. Their independence limited alliances, but their raids, like the 1836 Fort Parker attack, forced empires to their knees, per Philbrick. Who claims the crown? Lakota's iconic victory and alliances give them symbolic weight, but Comanche's vast empire and unmatched cavalry make them battlefield terrors, per historical accounts. In 1870, a trader near the Powder River found a carved arrowhead, etched with Spirit's Call. Uncovered in 1935, it was dismissed as a trinket, but Lakota elders said it sealed a prophecy, the plains will sing when empires fall, per oral histories. In 2025, Native scholars argue both tribes' legacies, Lakota's unity, Comanche's ferocity, redefine strength, per recent studies. Their fight against U.S. and Mexican expansion mirrors Wabash's forgotten stand, per Brown. This saga asks, does might lie in victory or endurance? What does that arrowhead guard? Whose song still echoes? Drop your thoughts below, hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and ring the bell for more Frontier Chronicles.